Dear teachers, first, we want to welcome you back to a new school year. And while many things are different, this year, one thing remains the same. Our buildings and virtual spaces will soon fill with students, and we will begin the school year anew. We will welcome a new group of students and, regardless of platform, begin the work of building classroom communities through dignity in our respective learning spaces. It was upon this premise of and desire for a dedicated, continuous effort towards racial equity and excellence for all students that a unique interdepartmental collaboration was born, in which mental health professionals and teacher experts from our own ranks came together to create a week's worth of culturally responsive social-emotional lessons, which will be facilitated by classroom teachers and delivered to every student in our district during the first week of school. These lessons were designed with the natural teacher focus of the first week of school, which of course is building and fostering positive classroom cultures from a basis of dignity, grace, and inclusion. The goal was not to systematically replace all of the amazing work that we know teachers have already planned, but rather to provide an intentional and consistent experience for every student in our district without overwhelming or overburdening teachers, with additional planning at the start of what is already a very different school year. Additionally, we want to take a moment to recognize the potential impact the presence of current social and racial tensions and emotions around COVID-19 have had on our students and colleagues. We must be sensitive and attuned to the fact that our students have been out of school for months. And for our little ones, this will be their very first experience for school. We must also be aware that students returning to us will have had many different lived experiences with COVID, as well as the racial tensions within our communities. While it would be unjust and unfair to make assumptions about those personal and individual experiences, it will be imperative that we as educators allow and encourage our students to express their lived experience and personal truths by creating classroom environments which clearly value reciprocal, dignified behavior through grace and understanding. Throughout the delivery of these lessons, some of our students might present with social and emotional needs different than what might typically be expected. As a society, the last several months have been a time of unrest and for many trauma-inducing. While the effects of trauma can present in a multitude of different ways, the most important skills in overcoming trauma are those related to the resiliency factors in one's own life and environment. This is true for both students as well as adults. Also, what is traumatic for one person may not be so for another. Therefore, it is also imperative that we check our personal assumptions as we re-enter our classrooms, as neither staff nor students will return to school unchanged or unaffected. As educators in Cherry Creek schools, we know and we understand the importance of leading our classrooms with culturally relevant educational practices. However, it is now more critical than ever before that we not only embrace these practices, but design and implement them into our daily planning. It is our individual responsibility as educators to support the social and emotional needs of all of our students, while at the same time confronting the systemic racism present in our communities and institutions. The lessons included in these modules that you're about to see were built on those guiding beliefs. So, as you travel through the modules, you will find that the lessons are separated into pre-K-5 and secondary units. Within each unit, you will find 5 lessons, clearly one for each day of the week. Each lesson has multiple choices within it and was built upon a specific theme to support building your classroom community through dignity. The intent was to offer choices that will match a student's developmental age, a teacher's style or preference of teaching, as well as any given teacher's comfort level in leading courageous conversations about race. While these lessons were designed to be facilitated in 30 to 60-minute increments, many could last multiple days, depending on the desired depth of exploration. so please feel free to adjust them to meet your structural needs. Again, we realize that you are busy preparing for the start of a new school year. Thus, it was our desire to create complete, detailed lessons that would alleviate stress while still providing a consistent foundation for culturally relevant social-emotional learning for all students within Cherry Creek schools. We truly hope that you find these lessons easy to use, helpful, and most importantly, meaningful in building your classroom community upon the basis of dignity for all. Thank you.